Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Okay, Cage Warriors is back during UFC International Fight Week, which I think is a very good time to have it for exposure. So we've got Tim Wilde facing Scott Clist. Now, Tim Wilde is joining us. I should say the FCC lightweight champion, Tim Wilde. Congratulations on that, sir, and that fight against Martin Delaney. I know it's not this week, but it's in the past. But congrats on that win, buddy.
Thanks for that, mate. Cheers.
It was. I'll tell you what. It was a fun fight. It was a fun fight to watch. You know, you again, your speed really kind of shone there in that fight. You know, you just caught him with the speed, and especially when he got you down on when he got into, I think it was half guard off the top of my head. You know, you were composed enough to get the technical ability to get out of there and get back to the feet where you want it. That was the thing. That was the question mark. Could Martin Delaney hold you down? And if he can't, you know, that's clearly what happens.
Yeah. No, it was. I couldn't have asked for a better performance. You know, I know that's the area where people think, oh, that's where he's going to get found out. But it's not the case. I train more wrestling and jiu-jitsu than I do striking, and I work with top guys. So, you know, if this next fight ends up on the floor, you'll see the same again. I'm not easy to put down, and when you do put me down, I'm definitely not easy to kind of keep me there. Yeah. So I'm working with a top level jiu-jitsu guy. I've been rolling with him this morning, black belt. So it's not something I'm worried about at all.
And your opponent Scott Clist came up against Brad Wheeler back on Cage Warriors 75, and he ended up getting that win in which he was losing the whole round and then got that punch in to finish Brad with a kind of TKO finish. It was like a TKO retirement. It was at the end of the round when the fight was over. But Scott Clist is a very, very experienced fighter. He's been in the fight game for a while. He knows, you know, how to defend himself. He's a smart fighter. And he also used to fight at 170 off the top of my head. So he's not a small guy as well. So when you come up against a guy who's going to be quite strong, your speed, I suppose and your angles is going to be the key factor for you in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's always the key factor in any fight. The strength thing may be an issue. He may be stronger than me, but I don't know. You know, the way we train and the way I scramble and stuff, I'm very hard to keep down. So you know, as you've seen in previous fights and stuff, but yeah. It doesn't worry me that he's coming from 170. I don't particularly think he was a big 170. I'm not sure on his height. I think he's 5'8", 5'10" or something. But he's a big, heavy set, muscly guy for sure. I think I'd say he's even perhaps a bit bigger than Delaney. But he's got to get hold of me first, and that's the problem. Well, speed's something I've always had, I've always worked on, and always looking to improve. You know, and it is one of my major focus points, because I know I hit hard. So you know, it's just the speed. It's landing the shots, isn't it? That's the problem. That was the thing. That's the thing.
Mate, that was the thing. Delaney fight. When I watched it, the end to the finish, I wasn't sure which punch it was that put him down. I was like, was it your left or right? Because you threw that Florio. I think it was like 4 shots on the feet. It was so quick. I don't know which one it was that dropped him. It was just one of them things. Your pace when you throw those combos, it's a nightmare. Like, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, I do not want to fight Tim Wilde because he's just. I don't have time to throw a counter.
Yeah, it's not your usual way of striking. You know, we do things different down at UTC in Canada, but I think I don't remember which one it was. So I remember there was a photographer, if you imagine, standing right behind Martin Delaney, and he's took 4 quick snapshots, and it's such a brilliant photo. I shared it on my Instagram if ever you get time to check. But you can see that in that, I mean, it must have been a second, but there's 4 frames, and I'm on the left side, then I'm on the right side, then I'm on the left. You know, people just think I run at them at straight lines, and there's a lot more to it, you know.
Oh yeah, there is.
I think if you watch it back in the slow-mo, like we've studied it, of course, it's actually it's just accuracy more than power. They're not really heavy shots.
Yeah.
They're just fast and they're very accurate. Like, I think out of 4 of them, 2 of them land right on his chin, the last 2, and he kind of wilts from there. But I dropped him earlier in the fight.
You did, yeah.
As well, with 2 really, the first strikes I threw, really pinpoint shots. So, you know, speed and accuracy is something we work on a lot, and our angles, as you see. So.
Now, it's coming up to UFC International Fight Week, and you're fighting, obviously, on this Cage Warriors card on Friday night. I've said it, I'll say it to yourself as well as your fighters. It's a great chance for exposure, to put on a showcase and really get your name out there, because there'll be a lot of eyes, maybe stateside, that maybe not tune in for a Cage Warriors card usually because of the time and stuff like that, but due to the fact that it's Fight Week, they'll probably look at this card and think, oh, I'll get my juices flowing before the UFC card kicks off. Do you feel like there's that opportunity for yourself to get your name out there a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely. I think what Cage Warriors have done with the UFC Fight Pass is massive, and it pushes us out there more, and this is what we need. We need exposure. You know, we're only a small little country, but I think we've got some really excellent fighters and up-and-coming fighters, and that's what we need. We need exposure. We need people all over the world seeing us, you know, and because we all have end goals as to where we want to go with our careers and what we want to achieve and stuff. So anything like that is just amazing. And like you say, the fact that it's on Fight Week over in America, there's just a big buzz around MMA that week. So yeah, hopefully a lot more people will tune in, a lot more people get to see what we're about in this country and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. I was thinking that as well. Now, bar your fight, obviously you're focused on your fight, International Fight Week kicking off. Is there any fights on that International Fight Week that you're quite looking forward to yourself?
I think every single fight on UFC 200 just looks phenomenal. But everyone's raving about the top fights, obviously the Jones, etc. But for me, I can't wait to watch Joe Lozon and Diego Sanchez. I just think that's just got fireworks wrote all over it. And I love watching Joe Lozon fight. He's just so entertaining. So I'm really looking forward to that fight.
Yeah,
in particular.
It's
just I'm looking forward to seeing Brock Lesnar come back and do his thing. Because that's an interesting fight for me. Because he's just such a machine. He's such an athletic freak.
Yes.
But if he tries to stand with Mark Hunt, initially you just think he's going to get knocked out. But Mark Hunt isn't the most athletic of people. Is he going to get taken down and dominated by Brock? It's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, I think there's an event Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Is that right?
Yeah, there is. It's 3 in a row, mate. 3 in a row.
It's going to be a mad week and weekend of MMA, and plus obviously Cage Warriors as well.
So you've got, importantly, I think it's five titles in total. You got lightweight title, Rafael dos Anjos, Eddie Alvarez. Then it's the strawweight fight with Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Claudia Cadella. Then you've got the interim title with, well, I sort of call it interim, but it's not. It's more going to be a title for Eddie Alvarez, Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo. Then you've got Misha Tate and Amanda Nunes, and then you've got DC and John Jones. So just 5 title fights alone on a whole in 3 days. And then there's Cage Warriors as well is on, and Cage Warriors got a couple of title fights on the card themselves. So it's a great weekend. It's a great time.
I'm very interested in.
It is, mate, and it's a great opportunity for yourselves to get out there. Like you say, that exposure is going to be awesome. And hey, look, I know what you bring, and like you say, your speed and angles, they're only slight angles that you're making, and that's what's landing the shots. People won't see it, but I'm a bit of a nerd, and I watch stuff, and I like to analyse and break down fighters, and that's the thing that you bring. You bring this slight angles that people can't counter because you're not there when the counter's thrown, and their head movement is pretty much static, and that's the problem. They just get clipped by you, and that speed that you bring as well. It's absolutely terrible. I hate it. I just sit there and go, it's not fair. Slow down. Let's have a fight. But, mate, it's going to be it's going to be awesome to watch. I seriously cannot wait for this card to kick off because it's a great showcase for UK talent as well, I think.
Yeah, I do love cage warriors. You know, I've fought on lots and lots of shows, and they're all good in their own different ways. But I'm a bit biased to cage warriors. I've got to be honest. I love fighting for him. I get on well with Ian. He looks after me, you know. So I do really, really like cage warriors. I was devastated when, obviously, they had that bit of a break. But you know, they're back now, and they show that they're doing good things. They're doing things a bit different as well. So yeah, I'm chuffed a bit that they're going. I'm really excited to fight on them.
Well, that's the thing. And as well that Graham's gone the right direction with slowly building the show back up again, put on a Fight Pass, and he's not trying to go everything 100 miles an hour again. He's just building that back up again, bringing the British talent in like he did before, and European names. You know, Ian Dean, as we all know, is a wizard, and he's scary how he brings these guys in that we won't know, but they're just absolute monsters. And he'll always give you good matchups. Ian Dean, he'll match guys up really well, and you know yourself that Ian Dean's going to give you. He's going to give you an opponent that will test you, and that you can get something out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's like an encyclopedia of MMA, isn't he? I mean, that's the only way you can describe it. He knows more details about people like, you know, I don't know, Spanish or Italian fighters. You know, he just knows everything about MMA. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy, and he does put on brilliant matches. You know, like Super Saturday, every single fight on that was phenomenal.
Oh yes.
Sorry,
it's okay. Embrace the bites.
Yeah, everything was. You know, they're always good cards, aren't they? You can't deny it. Nobody can. They're always good cards. And he does all the matchmaking. So, job well done to him. You know.
Yeah, look, Tim, it's going to be awesome seeing the fight card itself. I can't wait. I'll be tuning in on Friday because UFC.
Sorry, I've lost you a bit there, mate.
It's okay, but I'm just saying UFC Fight Pass is my girlfriend, and I'll be tuning in to the card. I have a lovely Friday night in with my UFC Fight Pass. People at home, buy it. Get UFC Fight Pass if you haven't. You know, you're an idiot. Tim, before I let you go, buddy, what's your social media for people to jump onto?
Okay, yeah, social media, mate. People can hit me up on Tim Wilde MMA, basically Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's just Tim Wilde MMA. You know, you can just hit me up on there. And
what about sponsors, mate? Have you got any sponsors helping you out in this fight camp?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the main couple of sponsors for me are Booster. They always supply me with all my gear. You know, they really is the best gear out there. You know, I'm not just saying that because it's a sponsor. It really is. I've tried and tested a lot. My nutritionist from Good Fit Nutrition, he's looked after me this camp. I've had a really easy weight cut. You know, and active therapy. My physio looks after me, sees me a couple of times a week. Great stuff. Really looks after me, and just all the sponsors who help me out. So Spartan Media, Spartan Outlet Media, there's dozens, mate. But they all know who they are. They all help me out, and I promote them all around the fight. So big thank you to everyone, and massive thank you to my gym, UTC staffs, and all my coaches, Neil Simpkins down in Warsaw, who prepare me and get me ready for these fights.
Can't wait, Tim. I'm sure everyone else can't wait. Have a great weight cut last week. You know, it's the last time. Enjoy yourself. You know,
I'm really sorry. I can't hear a word you're saying.
It's okay, Tim, mate. It's fine, buddy. I'm just saying, have a great week, and we'll enjoy the fights, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yes, great, mate. Awesome.